Flosstube, it's Jen, also known as Quirks and Stitches. I wanted to check in. It's been a little over a week, I think, since my last filming, and I wanted to stop in, say hi, say thank you guys. I hit 1,000 subscribers. I am shocked and blown away that you want to listen to me ramble, because that's what I'm doing on here. And thank you for watching and enjoying and subscribing and commenting and all of the things that you're doing, because I think that it helps keep my want to stitch going on, knowing that there's so many other people invested in this hobby. So that's really, it's been neat. It's been a neat time. Brandon's gonna edit that out. He might not. Last time he edited all these things and I didn't even really realize that I was doing them. There was a cat fight. There was all this stuff. He told me this whole segment that he was like, you're doing the opposite of what you should be doing while you're filming. So I just took it out. I was like, oh, okay. He's become my editor. It's good. Got a new mug. Create. Hashtag. This filming is a little weird because I've been stitching a ton, because I'm trying to finish as many of my 24-hour smalls as I can. But I told you guys I wasn't going to post about them until I was done, because people are guessing to see how many I can get done. And guys, over 40 people have commented. Brandon just edited that part out too. But yeah, over 40 people have commented on how many works in progress they have thought that I would be able to get done in the month of... That's my dog, who has discovered a squeaky toy. Brandon works from home, and his office is right over there. So during the day, he picks up all of her squeaky toys and puts them away because he's on the phone. And yeah, she likes to make noise at inopportune times. That's my dog, Watson, if you haven't heard about her. Brandon's trying to get her out of the room. Actually, I really hope he doesn't cut this stuff out, because I think it's kind of funny. I don't know. Anyway, so haven't been able to show you what I've been stitching, so I'm like, I want to film. I want to talk to people. I want to say what's going on in my life, because a lot's been going on, but I don't have any cross stitch to show. So those of you that haven't watched the last video, I stitched 24 hours. I'm sure you've heard about my insanity by now, but I stitched 24 hours, different project every hour on the hour. And I started 24 different smalls, fully anticipating that I would end the day having something finished. Nope. Ended with 24 works in progress. Those of you that also have been watching me know that I start my Stitch Mania in March and call it Stitch Madness. March Madness, Stitch Madness, Stitch Mania, same pretty much concept as Stitch Mania, but I just run mine in March. So I started the 24 things. I already had 26 works in progress from last year. And then in March, I start 31 new projects, one a day for the entire month of March. So I got really overwhelmed, because I was like, guys, I'm going to end. I can't tell you how many projects I'm going to have since this. This is stressing Brandon out way more than it's stressing me out. I don't care. It's Watson. It's my life. That's what I want you guys to see. I don't remember what I was talking about.
Stitch Madness.
So, coming back to my thought, I realized that having come into the year with 26 works in progress, ending my 24 hours of stitching with 24 new projects, and going into March with gonna end March with 31 new. I was a little overwhelmed by the amount of WIPs I was gonna have, because that's a lot. I do not mind having WIP basket, but guys, right now I have 4. And that's a little intimidating to me. So I did my Stitch Madness last year, and I had 2 baskets going in plus my work in progress basket, and by the end of the year, whatever, I ended up back down to just 1 basket. Right now I have a basket over there. That one is full of things that I'm currently working on. Then I have 2 baskets right there. Those are Stitch Madness. I have them. I'll talk a little bit in a minute about my calendar that I made. Let's just say I'm nuts. And then underneath that basket down there. Yeah, that's all the 24 starts still. Too many baskets. So, but you'll see there are a few holes in the wall of WIPs. So, you guys have really, I've had, like I said, over 40 people commented on how many works in progress they thought I would be, or how many of the 24 I was going to finish. And you guys like have pushed me because you guys guessed really high. Like, like you guys didn't learn anything about my stitching speed during my 24 hours either, because you're all like, oh, I think you can finish 24. Yeah. No spoilers, but 24 is a little ambitious. We'll see. I have till Friday. So I can't show any of that. So I didn't know what to show. So I went digging deep into my WIP basket because I was like, you know, there are things that I've worked on that have been in this basket for a really long time and predate when I was filming my first one, because I'm coming up to my year anniversary. It was the middle of March, or this first weekend of March last year that I did my first video. So I went deep, guys. I'm gonna show you some really, really old works in progress today because I don't really have anything else to show. I have a lot to talk about because I can ramble like, I don't know a good analogy to put right there, but I can ramble with the best of them. I wasn't really where I was going with that, but it's close enough. I want to go back a minute though to 24 hours of what did I do? 24 hours of cross stitch. I've had a lot of people that have said that they would do it with me or would be definitely more interested in doing it with me if it wasn't 24 straight hours. You guys are totally right. Like, I had a couple of people that commented about doing like the read-alongs that do the 24 hours and 48, where you are trying to do something for 24 hours and you're tracking how much time you're spending on it, but you're giving yourself a 48-hour time frame to do that. And that was actually something my mom and I talked about, but we were just so, well, she wasn't. I was really bicked on trying to see if I could actually do 24 straight hours, mostly because Brandon had just come off of his fundraiser thing, and I was just like, oh, he can video game for 24 hours. I think I can stitch. I don't know that I would ever look to actually do that again. I do think, however, that I would like to do some sort of focus on smalls again, because I have so many smalls that I just have never started because I start big, and I've already talked about that. So anyway, but I had so many people that have been like, we wish that you had just opened this up if I had known about it, if I had some prep time. Julie over at Gulf Coast Stitches, Michelle over Bendy Stitchy. I'm taking you guys up on it. Let's organize something. I think we could do it. Let's do 12-hour. Let's do, you know, even something that we can do that we can give everybody some notice. Maybe give me some time to continue to work through some of my WIPs before we do this. But I think it's something we need to make happen. So if you guys will help me out, I think it'd be fun, and I think it'd be a great way to kind of challenge people. I don't know, challenge isn't right. Have fun. It'd be fun. Stitch with me. I think I want to do a stitch with me video, but I don't know how, because I feel like you'll see my patterns. I got that new light. I got this really cool light for my birthday from my parents. And it's got a light, and it's upstairs because my stitchy spot is upstairs, but it has a light, it has a magnifier with a light, and it has a clip that holds my pattern. Because I don't know about you guys, some of you are iPad pattern people. I don't understand how you do that. Comment, tell me, because I stitch with a pattern on a magnet board, and then I have a little magnet that I use. And I can't show you because I didn't think about this in advance and have a freebie that it doesn't matter if you see my pattern, but I use a magnet to track the line that I'm stitching on. And then every line I move the magnet down. I don't understand what you do. How do you track if you're on an iPad? I don't get it. Enlighten me. 24 hours. I think we should make it happen. Could be 12. Be any amount of stitching you want to do with us. then you do stitch. So I think that'd be fun. And I really am glad that I went with the 24 smalls, because I'm really coming away with some things done that have been sitting in my basket for years, and I'm so glad that I was able to dedicate some time to them. So I'm thinking that February might be this month for me. In the future, that I do this starting, the beginning, and because then I'm also being challenged to finish it before March. I don't know that every year I'll do March Madness this way, but it's been fun. I have a whole calendar set, guys. I have like 31 new projects, 31 new different designers. And then, so those of you who don't know my history, I was a teacher for a long time. I taught 3rd grade, and I made my first year teaching this calendar because there's a holiday every day of the year. And so I made a calendar for my walls in the classroom, and then had a calendar, like a holiday for the kids that we could celebrate every day. And there's like weird ones like bring your cat to work day or pizza day. And so I made like little cards that I had like cards. I do this all in every aspect of my life. But I made little cards that went onto the calendar, and they had a picture, a clip art, and the name of the calendar or the holiday. And a lot of times I would like download new fonts so that they would match. So like Pancake Day was IHOP font, or Pizza Day was Pizza Hut. And I had all of them going, and then I had an activity every morning when the kids came to school that correlated. So it was like their kind of warm up, get their minds going in the morning. So I decided for March this year that I was going to see how many of my Stitch or Madness starts I could correlate with a holiday in March. I had to do some like real pushing it to get some of them to be applicable, but when I'm filming the recaps of them, I'll explain my thought process. Some of them is I just don't even know what these holidays are, so I'm like, I think maybe. I also was like, I am not changing my plan at all. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's, what's the day? National, I don't know, Joe Day? There is a National Joe Day in March. But I wasn't going to, like, go find a Joe-themed project. But I do have it kind of like all sorted. I also I try to be conscious when I do it that I'm not doing like a full week on the same fabric because I do use the same fabric for some projects. I don't know why it bothers me to do that when I'm starting new things, because if I'm stitching on the same project for a week, I'm on the same fabric. So I'm not really sure why that's such a big deal to me, but I try to like space out my stitch counts, and that's what I do. It's been fun. I have them all organized, and now they're in the baskets, and they're in order that I want to start them on. Last year that order got shot out of water immediately, but I'm gonna see if it holds true this year. So what else has been happening in my life? It's my birthday on Friday. So thank you to those of you that stitched along with me on my Age Doesn't Matter Sal, Matters Choice. It was a lot of fun, and you guys blew me away on Instagram and stuff with the birthday wishes. Like, thanks. It was a nice day. I stitched all day long until about 3, and then we ended up getting like a ton of sushi in, and we played Rock Band because that's what we do. And we just like to sing songs from like the late 90s and early 2000s because I refuse to believe that I've actually aged since then. So stitching. Started Matters Choice. I stitched on it most of the day on my birthday. I stitched on it a little bit yesterday, and I have not touched it today because I went back to working on smalls today. But I am stitching this. And I'm sure you've seen the pattern, so I'm not pulling out the picture. I'm stitching this on a 40 count vintage autumn gold by Lakeside Linens. The lighting down here does not even do it justice. It's a beautiful piece of linen. I realized, so I'm stitching it, and I'm using a Gentle Arts color, and I was like, I stitched with this color, and there was a blue in it. And I'm so disappointed because this skein doesn't have any blue ends. And I'm thinking, it's not a straight black. It was, I looked, it was blackboard. I'm like, I don't understand. And someone on Instagram asked me, I forget who, I should have looked. I didn't know I was going to talk about this. Someone on Instagram asked me about the color, and I wrote a comment back, and I was like, I don't know why though. You know, I used this for Jenny Bean's Halloween, and it was like this blue. It reminded me of when I used to dye my hair black because it had like this little blue tint, and that's why I wanted to use it for this. And so before I hit send to the comment, I was like, let me go see what color black I used in Jenny Bean's. So I pull it up. Black Crow. Not Blackboard. They're two different colors. No wonder there's no blue hint in this. So I was a little bit bummed when I was like, I just bought the wrong color. I don't know. Maybe one of my Stitch Madness projects doesn't have the right color in it. There is one that called for Black Crow, and I checked today to make sure that I didn't get Blackboard for that one too, but I didn't. That one was right, just not this one. So I was a little disappointed about that, but I'm loving it. My mom is stitching it along with me, and she is doing hers on an Aida, and she's doing, the pattern has two different charts, so she's doing the littler one. But she's going to be using some of the alphabet at the bottom and like writing, I think the age doesn't matter, on the bottom, along with like the start date and her finish date. And I think I might do that too. I might do that instead of the alphabet on the bottom. I have enough alphabets hanging up in my house. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to save it till the end and then decide. But that's what I was working on. And now I'm going to go old. I'm going to show you some of the works in progress that have been in my stash for a while. A couple of these, the first two I started during Madness last year, and I don't think I've showed you updates. So I figured I would pull those out. That's a lie. One of them I started during Madness last year, and I don't believe I've showed you any updates. So I started, I can find the date because I have it in my little book. That was the wrong book. This is the right book. I showed you guys before in the back of this book, I keep a list of all of my works in progress, when I started it, what fabric I'm stitching it on. Basically the exact same information is here that is behind me on that wall, because I just need to copy and write things 10,000 times. But I did not show you, this is a calendar, and during the months, I will just record what I worked on during the day, and then over on this column, I just put down my finishes. I'm showing January because I can't show February because I can't show how many of my 24 starts I finished yet. I was looking at something in that though, so I'm going to pull it back out instead of my little tossing it across the room. This is Map of Hawk Run Hollow, and I started this, actually this was my first day of Stitch Madness start last year. I have not pulled it out much since then, but I have gotten some more progress done, because when we first moved here, life was like really, really busy, but this one was easy to pull out because it's on a 32 count, and I could just kind of pull it out. I didn't have to have like a whole elaborate stitching spot set up, and I could work on it. So this is where I'm at on Map of Hawk Run Hollow. So I've got the whole length of the hawk done, I think. I have one little V over there that's not filled in that I'm terrified I'm going to forget about. I did that on the Love Never Fails that I did for my mom. There's one flower that isn't filled in, so I didn't go back and do it. But I didn't want to just use a little bit of the floss, and I know it's used other places, so I'm just hoping that I remember to fill that in. I love this piece. I'm using the called for DMC. And at first I was not loving the fabric. It's really big, and I guess I've only ever stitched Autumn at Hawk Run. But I did that on 40 count, so it seems so much bigger than that. And I have this thing where if I'm stitching a series, they all have to be on the same thing. Even if they're not going to be displayed together, I still want them on the same fabric, and I don't know why that is. If they're on the same stitch count, because I do a thing where I flip frames sometimes. So if I have an example. Like this one, for instance, this Lizzie Kate alphabet, which was also in my pile to show you. This is the spring alphabet. I've done fall and autumn, which is why I'm working on this, because I'm nothing. If there's a series, I feel like I have to do all of them. I am not a spring person. I do not like spring colors. I do not like pastels or Easter bunnies and eggs and that kind of stuff. So I'm really not sure why I'm stitching this, because it's part of a series and I feel like I have to. So I started this one some point. Oh, I don't have a date. I don't like it when I don't know the date that I started things. That's why I try to keep my calendar, but I hadn't had this system yet, so I didn't. Sometimes I can go back and see if I took a picture of it, and I'll go back through my photo reel, but I haven't done that yet. So I'm doing all of these. The first one I did was fall, and I did that on a 32 count Picture This Plus. I believe that was on doubloon. I couldn't find doubloon at the time that I was getting the stuff for winter, so I did it on Picture This Plus Legacy 32 count. And then I had enough Legacy left to do spring and then also summer. I don't know that I'll ever finish them. I don't know if I can ever see me wanting to hang it up in my house. But it's a series, so I feel like it should be completed. Something like that. His eyes on the sparrow. My mom and I started this one as a stitch along together, and I'm using a 36 count buttercream. It's like a massive piece of linen. Buttercream by Lakeside Linen. I went all the way down to make sure that it was going to fit, because I was a little scared. I am using the threads called for. My mom is doing hers on a 40 count natural linen, and she is using the DMC conversion. So we thought it would be interesting to see, but I've gotten pretty far down on him. And I love him. It's not really a hymn. It's a lot of hymns, because it's all the motifs. Someday it'll be done. And then my last one, which I was actually like, I'm gonna scrap this project, was what I was deciding today. I'm like, I'm just gonna, and then I pulled it out. I was like, oh, it's not that bad. I could finish this. So I have absolutely no idea when I started this piece. And I'll show you. It came from Cross Stitcher, I think. It's this Noel as the banner pool. I don't know that I'm going to finish it as a banner pool. I don't know that I'm going to do the Joy one thing up there. I might just do the Noel. It's on a huge piece of linen, and so I have felt really guilty if I scrap it, that it's like this massive piece of linen. It's just like a natural, or I don't know what count it is. I'm lost behind this thing. I think you can see all of it. So I've got the N, the O, and the E started. The thing that holds me off on this one, I'm going to fold it. Hold on. You have to backstitch. And you have to backstitch all around the O. I hate backstitching. I hate backstitching. And the inside is a heart. I can't make a heart backwards on film right now. I don't even know. I'm too perfectionistic, and it's like, you can see on the pattern, it's kind of, or the picture, like it's kind of like wonky a little, like, no, Brandon's gonna yell at me because I should be able to know how to do this. Anyway, that's what holds me off. Otherwise, I think I really like it. And then I was thinking, no, I didn't have to do that, but it needs something. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But I think I'm going to just do the Noel, and then I think I want it finished as a pillow that I will not put on my couch because my cat throws up on my couch. So I don't know where it will go while Pandemonium is still alive. That sounds terrible. I love my cat. She's just 15 years old and throws up on her. I mean, young cats do that too, but she's like really bad. So what else am I doing other than stitching that I'm not showing you? I don't do anything small, guys. Have you learned that about me yet? I've decided that I do not want my projects in Ziploc bags anymore. Probably because I got a project bag from Linda Jo and it's awesome. And I really like the feeling of taking that project out every day because it feels special and it feels like nicer than a Ziploc bag. So I said to my mom, who can sew, can we make these? She said, yeah. I said, okay, keep in mind, Mom, I've never used a sewing machine before. I have a sewing machine. I don't know how to work it. She said, yeah, we can do this. I said, okay, well then let's just go buy all of the fabric that we're going to ever want for project bags. Not just like one set of fabric to try it, to see if we're going to like it, to see if this is going to be something feasible. No, let's go to Joann's. Let's go to Hobby Lobby. Let's go to Pat Catan's. Let's go to the other Joann's. Let's go to the other Pat Catan's since they're closing and now everything's on sale. And let's buy fabric. So that's what I've done. There is so much cool fabric out there, and I'm not even like hitting the problem that I'm having, aside from the fact that I still have never used the sewing machine, is I don't know how to coordinate fabrics. So I picked a lot of, I think, too busy of fabrics and then don't have enough that are going to be able to be like the inside pieces. I got Brandon a lot of like really nerdy fabric too. Some of it I want, so I thought I'd have in my pile here. I mean, that's what my mom got me for my birthday. Little dachshunds. Aren't they cute? It's like Watson. Sometimes I don't like dachshund things because she's dachshund corgi. And if we go too dachshundy, then I don't know, she's corgi. And we got her because she was corgi, not dachshund. But she looks more like a dachshund than a corgi. So like I'm trying to pair things up. I'm like, I don't know, does that work? Like if I did the cactuses on the outside and the arrows on the inside, the colors kind of match. Or like this one, I think this might be way too busy, but I think I like it. The llamas, okay, that be the outside. And then this patchworky one on the inside. I have no idea. So I've gotten so many pieces of fabric. Foxes with glasses, because I love a fox with glasses on. Upside down. Fox with glasses. I found an ET fabric. Okay. Hold on. E.T. was my favorite movie when I was a kid. Like, I think it was the first movie I saw in the movie theater. And then my grandmother told me it was scary. So for about 6 years, I was terrified of E.T. And I've realized I have all these like irrational fears. I don't like umbrellas. I don't like feet. I don't like, there was something else. And we watched E.T., me and my roommate, when I lived in my first apartment. And we're like, oh my God, there's a scene where E.T. gets terrified by an umbrella. And there are comments about feet. And there were like all of these things that I like I literally had a list of my irrational fears at one point. They were all in E.T. So I got this. I didn't know what I wanted to coordinate it with because this is just so busy to me. And then somebody on Instagram was like, Reese's Pieces. And I'm like, come on, that's awesome. Yes, of course, that is absolutely what it needs to be. Can I find Reese's Pieces fabric? If anyone out there sees it anywhere, please tell me. I will buy it. So that's what I'm doing, is buying the fabric. That was very shaky, sorry. That was the force of the amount of fabric that I have purchased. So my mom, she cut pieces and she was like, I'm going to do this. And she did a really great job. But then we realized her sewing machine probably needed to be serviced. So she put it in to get it cleaned, and we figured she could use mine because I have one. And we got it up, but mine doesn't reverse. And apparently that's a thing that needs to happen. So we're going to wait for hers to get finished being cleaned, get hers, take mine in. We don't know if it's even worth. Mine's like my grandma's old one that I bought at a yard sale from her. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I've wanted to learn to use, like, to sew, to quilt, to do all of these things for a really long time, and just haven't jumped in. But I'd like to, and I think it's going to be happening sometime in the future. That's what's been going on with me. Had a couple people that have shouted me out. Kim in Canada, thank you. I had fun watching your video. And City Farming, I have not checked out your videos yet, but I believe you are starting Stitch Madness with me, I think. So I'm excited to watch that. I just haven't had a chance to check it out yet. But check her out and see what she's got in the works. I am super ready to start some new things, which is absolutely ridiculous. I am super excited to show you the things I have gotten finished. I've had a couple people comment about the floss cards. I just wanted to make one announcement with that and just make sure you know I am not going to be stocking them with the floss. It will just be the project cards, but I will make you the 24 that you will be able to have for your projects. And I think I'll do it two ways. I think what I'm going to do is I will physically make them and print them out and punch them for you. And then I will also send you a digital copy of PDFs in case you want to print them out. Brandon and I took a little bit this before we started filming to kind of see if I could do like a tutorial where you don't see me but you see my computer screen, so that I can kind of show what I do when I'm making my project cards, and I think that's going to be pretty feasible. So I'm going to work on getting something like that up and running. I'm just stuck on how I can market these things. Like, I'd love to be able to share them with you guys, and like maybe open an Etsy store. I don't know how to do this kind of stuff. But it's something that I would like to be able to get out there, or like my works in progress cards or things like that. So the wheels are kind of turning. I get a little stuck because I just don't think it's very user friendly. And I know how to do it, but I think there's probably easier ways to do it. It's just pretty computer savvy, and then I think I just stopped knowing what to do with a computer. I try when I do my films, videos, whatever I'm doing right now, to at the end of each one to show you one of my FFOs. It's getting harder because I did all of those, that filming, that framing extravaganza that my mom did last year. But I don't think I've showed this one. If I did, I'm really sorry. But this is For Thine is the Trick or Treat by Prairie Moon. This was, I think it was the second piece I ever did on linen. I was like, I'm tired of Ada. I want to stitch on linen. So I went big and decided to try it out. I love this. It was so much fun to stitch. There were a few mistakes in the pattern, but then my frame I love. It's like, I felt like it was a perfect frame for it. So this is one of my favorite pieces that I've done. It's just DMC. Still pretty much a DMC girl. Can't think if there was anything else I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna be back. I'm planning to film when I know I'm done stitching on the 28th, and I'll post it on March 1st, I believe. I'm going to let you guys see all of my finishes and announce the winner of my project cards. So that will be happening at the end of the week. And then I will be filming hopefully weekly to show you my Stitch Madness plans and what I'm doing with that. And then I have to figure out a plan to keep myself getting through projects. But also I want to make sure, something I didn't do last year with Stitch Madness is I'm not good with rotations. I've tried it. But I need to figure out something that's going to pull out some of the pieces that I haven't worked on, because there's several in my basket that I haven't touched since that one day of stitching on in Madness. And it's not the majority, because maybe I will show you guys this right now. I'll save it for another video. I started 31 for Stitch Madness last year, and I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 of them. 9 of them, I think, are in my Stitch 9. So those will get finished. So like overall, there's not many that aren't planning to at least get some time on them. But there's a few that I just haven't touched. Pumpkin Conspiracy by Cross-Eyed Cricket. I really want to pull that one back out. I don't know, there were a bunch. But then there were some that I didn't love. And I want to be someone that can just say, I don't love this, I'm not going to keep doing it. Like that Spring Alphabet by Lizzie Kate. I don't know, maybe I'll stitch it and gift it. I don't know, because I don't see it being hung in my house. But then I think maybe, I never used to like the color yellow. Now it's like my favorite color. So maybe I'll wake up someday loving Easter bunnies and pastel colors. I think I'm too dark for that. So that's what's been happening here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for enjoying stitching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for everything you guys are doing. I'm thinking of something I can do for my 1,000 subscribers. I hesitate to do a chart. And I have a couple that I have doubles of, or, I have a whole box full of things I've finished. But I feel like it cuts out people, because there's people that don't want to stitch the same things that I've stitched, or have already stitched it, or it's just not their style. I don't know. So I'm thinking, if you have any ideas. But that's about it. I'll be back soon. Brandon's going to do some editing. By the time you see that, this will already be done. No, by the time you see this, that'll already be done. And I'm going to go get cozy. This week is going to be a little busy. I'm starting doing a keto jumpstart diet, so I am ready to eat all the fat, to lose all the fat. So I'll have that kind of going on along with everything else that I'm working on. Gonna get back into cooking. Gonna do it. It's been too long. So that's what's going on in my life. I will see you guys next week, or Friday, or something.